Hi, I'm Carla, I'm the car lady here at Highway Mazda in Steinbach, and today I'd like to go through with you a few of the information screens on your dashboard. So when you're in your Mazda, on the left-hand side, there's one little area in your dash. The middle part of your dash will have like your speedometer, that kind of thing. And then there's a third one. That's the part that I'm going to go through today. I'm sitting in a Mazda 3. So different cars are going to have different options. So I'm sitting right now in a Mazda 3 GS. And so if that's what you're driving, that's what you'll see here. The screen might be in a different place if you're driving a GT or if you're driving a CX-5 or CX-9, but the information I'm giving you should be fairly basic as to where to find it and also how to interpret it. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look. On your Mazda 3, there's going to be this info button. So you press it right in the center to find it. And the screen that we're going to be looking at is the one that currently says it's -9. So yes, I'm sitting in a cold car, but I have my heated seat on. So if you take a look over here, right now we're sitting on average. At the top, you'll see that the cruise control is on. So here's the cruise button on my steering wheel. If I turn it off, you'll see that it disappears. If I turn the cruise back on, that's where it comes on. While you're driving, when you press set, that will set the cruise at the speed you want. When you hit resume, or then you touch your brake to slow down or something, then hit resume, it'll go back to whatever that set speed is that's in your dash there. Now, if you look, it does give us the external temperature as -9 degrees Celsius. And if you prefer Fahrenheit, it is easy to change that. So let's just take a look over here at your screen. If you turn all the way to the settings button, and then we're going to move all the way over to system. There on system, we can switch this here to Fahrenheit. So now you'll see that it's actually 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how simple that is to switch. Now underneath that line, you'll see where it says average. So now the averages on this car are going to be really, really ridiculous because we only have 17 kilometers on this car, which means that it's hardly ever been driven. But I'm going to now touch this info button here, and it's going to change what I see there. So current, you'll notice that it says nothing right now, and that's because I'm not driving. So when I'm driving, the current is going to tell me how much fuel I am using at that time, and that number is going to fluctuate. For example, it's going to be a little bit higher. You're going to be using more gas when you are driving against wind or uphill, that kind of thing. And if you're going downhill, you might be using less. Using cruise control is actually the best way to get a steady, low fuel consumption. So just take a look at that, watch that. It'll give you kind of an idea of what's going on. If I touch the info button again, this gives me my average speed. So I don't use this one particularly for myself personally, but if you would want to know what your average speed is, just so you can make different calculations, that is how you'd find that. And then range. Range means how much gas do you have left in the tank. So at the current rate at which I am burning fuel, I will go 277 kilometers. Now, chances are the more you drive, you give yourself at least 3 tanks of gas to get good averages on there, or take it for a really long spin, go for a long road trip and figure out sort of where it's at. And then once your averages are better sort of established, then you can get better readings here on your range. One more time, and there we are to the average, which of course is not very good on only driving 17 kilometers. Underneath that line, now I personally leave mine at range because I like to know how much gas I have left in the tank, and when the price of gas goes down, I like to fill up, especially if I know how much I have left. Underneath that is your fuel gauge. So of course E means empty, F means full, and there's a little gas tank picture on the right with the arrow that's pointing to the left, and the arrow on every vehicle, doesn't matter what brand you drive, the arrow will tell you what side of the vehicle your gas tank is on. So there's a little hint and trick for you. All right, now you'll notice how the ranges and all the kilometers and all the measurements here are in metric. So we're going to go back to the same screen we had before, and if you're driving in the States, or if you just prefer miles because that's what you're used to, you touch that miles, and now you'll notice that the range has changed to 172 miles. If you look at your averages, now you're looking at miles per gallon, and your current will also be miles per gallon, miles per hour, that kind of thing, so everything will change. I'm going to change it back because we are in Canada where everything is in Celsius and kilometers. All right, one more thing right there up at the top. Do you see that little button there? Beside there, it says trip. So if I click that button, and let's see if we can focus here. There we go. Okay, so I'm clicking that button. Now, can you see there? As I click it, let me see if I can do it again. As I click it, there we are at my regular odometer reading, 17 kilometers. Trip A is at 0. So we haven't actually been doing any driving on 0, but this trip here, trip B, it's at 11.3 kilometers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press this trip stick here over on this side, and I'm going to hold it in, and then it turns to 0. So that's how you clear out your trip odometer to make sure that you can, if you want to measure trips or if you're doing it for work, that kind of thing. And this stick also, if you adjust it, it's not going to show any difference now, but you can turn it right or left to adjust the brightness of your display in your dashboard while you're driving in the evening once your headlights are turned on. So I'm going to just turn my headlights all the way on right now. I don't think it's going to show because we are in daytime, but there you go. You can see that, how it changes. So when I turn this, it's now dim, and then I can turn it and then it goes bright. So that's what happens at night if you do want to adjust the brightness of your dash lights. I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions or need some more explanation, that's great. I'd love to help you. Again, I'm Carla Ann, the car lady at Highway Mazda in Steinbach. Give me a call at 204-326-6437. Have a great day.